Welcome back to How Soccer Explains Leadership. Thanks a lot for being a part of the conversation. Well, we are in episode 2 of season 14, and this season we're doing things a little different. If you didn't check out episode 1 of this season, I encourage you to go back and listen to that because this season is all tied together and it builds on itself. It's really about the people advantage, the advantage of understanding ourselves and understanding each other on our team so that we can perform better. And today we're going to be talking about really how you play, how you lead, and you lead how you play. And really, the way you're wired impacts everything you do and how you interact with others. But before we dive into it, Paul, what's up, man?
Yeah, man, things are good. We're just looking forward to, I've enjoyed, our first conversation about this season and the direction we're going to go and excited about what that's going to do, I think, for our listeners as we dive into all this. But things here are great in Waco, Texas, man. No complaints.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm psyched for this. I'm psyched for these conversations. And today we're basically going to do a refresh on DISC model of human behavior. Those of you who are longtime listeners of the show, it's something that I've used over the last decade or so in all the work that I do, and I've just seen how powerful of a tool it is. I've used it with the soccer team that I coach, and we've taken a team that was relatively toxic. I'm not going to say the most toxic team I've ever been a part of, but it was very relatively toxic to now I would say is the healthiest culture I've ever been a part of in a soccer program. And I owe a lot of it to that. It's not just that. We also have a leadership team. We pour into mission, vision, values, and a lot of that stuff, which is critical. All of it goes together. And we've had great kids, but you can still have great kids that don't click and don't connect and don't understand each other. And when that happens and things get stressful and things get uncomfortable, you start losing a couple games, it just could blow up. And we know negativity is contagious. So, I know that we did a disc training with your team at Baylor when you were coaching there. You understand disc and how it works. And so what are your thoughts just generally about wiring and how it impacts, really everything?
Yeah, well, you've heard us, our listeners have heard us talk about this a lot, this concept of, in leadership, you need to know yourself, right, before you know
Mm-hmm.
others. And I think that's an important piece of this is that the first thing is knowing yourself and how you're wired, right? Because that's
Yep.
going to
Yep.
directly affect how you lead. And if everybody in an organization takes that, um, kind of takes that idea and understands they need to understand themselves first because they're all leaders in their different environment, whatever position you play on the field or whatever position you are within a team. It's important that you know who you are first. So it's not just about, so I think some people think that, well, you know, someone to come in and do disc training and as a coach, I'm going to know, more about all of my players. Yes. And the players also know themselves better as well. It reveals a lot. So knowing how you're wired as a coach, as a leader is so important because it helps you understand how you lead best. But the other beauty I thought of DISC was that when everybody knows, how they're wired, so to speak, as we're saying, then you really teach them how those wirings interact to put together the best opportunity to interact with each other. And I think that's the
Yep.
beauty of it. It's not just getting to know how you're wired and how everyone's wired. It's actually the benefit is how do those things actually go together so that they work more cohesively? How do they communicate together? Though that's the beauty of it, I think, Phil.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing.
I love that. I love that. And we talked last episode about the conductor, right? And I think
Yeah.
that again, it's that idea of you need all the instruments in order to have this beautiful music. Now, you can have a saxophone alone and it can sound great. You can have a trumpet and you can have this and you can have that. But when they all come together and they're playing together as one, it's like, wow. And you need all of them to make these different music, right? And so in that sense, you need all these different styles like you talked about. And I love it. And what real quick we'll share if you don't know and if you've never heard of DISC. DISC is it's a model of human behavior and there's DISC. And it's basically, are you outgoing or are you reserved? Are you task focused or are you people focused? And if you're outgoing and task focused, you're what's called a D. You're a driver. You're one who goes after it. You're loud and you're going to go fast and you're going to get a ton of stuff done and you're going to make things happen. And you like to win, very competitive, going, we're going to win, right? The I is outgoing and people focused and very inspiring. And again, there's so much more to all this, but this is kind of the shortcut so that we're not using language that you're, what in the world are you talking about? So the I is the inspiring personality style, and it's an influencer. It's one who is not an influencer the way we say. Some are the way we're talking about it today.
Good clarification
But
there.
it's just someone who influences people naturally. Everyone influences people, but it's more one who's kind of that life of the party, outgoing, people focused. Just fun is the driver. Results are the driver for the D. Fun is the driver for the I. And there's a lot more to it. The S is the people focused and reserved, and it's really the supportive personality. It's the steady personality style. It's one who is very empathetic, and peace and harmony is what the S needs, and really team cohesion is what is critical for the S. S's love being part of teams, and they will do anything for you. They will take the shirt off their back for you, but they don't like necessarily feeling like they're the ones who are going to ask for stuff, right? So they're not going to necessarily speak up and advocate for themselves. They're going to make sure everyone else in the room is doing great. And then the C is the people task focused and reserved personality style, and it's the more cautious, conscientious personality style, very detail oriented. Excellence, value, quality are going to be the most important thing for them. Paul is a high C. I am a high I. It's actually a lot of the reasons why I think this podcast works well is because we're wired differently and we bring different things to the table. And, and we need all of it. All those things coming together, you have the D's that are driving that, hey guys, we gotta win. We got to go after, we got to do this. And that's important in a team, right? We got to win. We got to get results. The I is the one who's going to inspire when you're kind of down and we need someone to lift them up. And, the S's are the ones who are going to be that steady and going, that team cohesion is super important. And if we don't have it, we're not going to do our best. And then the C's are the ones who are saying, we're going to bring that excellence, that quality. We got to do everything. We don't just got to get stuff done. We got to get it done right. And all those things coming together, just build this beautiful team when we're working together. But you can also see how a D, when unhealthy, goes to anger. An I, when unhealthy, just goes to just talking and just being unfocused and going and not being on the same page oftentimes and just trying to talk them way out of stuff. The S will actually withdraw. So when an S is unhealthy and they're on a team where it's unhealthy, often they just won't play to their best of ability because they're withdrawing and they're just taking themselves out of the equation. And then the C's will get hypercritical. And so when we see that, we also go, okay, that could become toxic real fast if we have unhealthy people. So a way to keep people healthy is to build them up in great ways. It's also individually, you got to know how to stay healthy as well. But that's not necessarily what we're talking about here. So with all that, Paul, how do you want to tie that together as we're, getting ready to, wrap up this episode? This does go quick, folks. These are bite-sized nuggets as we talked about, but have a few more minutes, but what are you thinking of all that?
Yeah, I think that, it's a great high level look at what DISC is. And if you can think through that, as you're listening to this and really start to think of, how those different personality traits really work together, that's where you find the beauty in team. Right. And I think that's where the DISC training is extremely helpful because you may start to see, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I don't have enough D's on my team. Maybe I don't have any, right? As we're looking at different things. And maybe it comes into, if you're, looking for players, or you're looking for somebody to build your team, are you looking not just for qualities on the field, but what are the qualities off the field? That's what this season is about. It's not just about on the field stuff, but what's the off the field stuff that's going to help us be more successful on the field. And I think learning your wiring as a coach and learning the wiring of your players is one of those pieces.
Yeah, I love that. And obviously some teams have more of an opportunity. If we're talking college coaches right now, you have more of an opportunity to actually look at this stuff in recruiting. You can even have your recruits take a disc assessment. There's no rules against that. You can do that with different people. Definitely, I would recommend you doing it with your team. If you want to talk to me more about it, there's obviously no obligation, no anything, but I'd love to just, I could spend a half hour with you just talking about your team and help understand how this might help you. If you want to do that, you can, just go to my website, darkleadership.com, and hit that, book a strategy call button, and we can go on a half hour, just quick call, and just to see how this might help your team. Clubs, you have some say in it, obviously, but it's a limited pool who's coming to you, so you got to pick from that. But when you have your team, I think it's really important, especially you're not just doing this for the team's sake. You're doing this for the kids' sake and for their family's sake and for their future's sake, because this is stuff that's not going to just be with them for this season. It's going to be with them for life. So that's something that I strongly recommend, strongly advocate for. And again, it's something that this will this won't make an unathletic player athletic and a great soccer skilled tactician on the field, but it will help them perform better on and off the field because they'll be healthier in every way. So what do you think of that? Last thoughts there, Paul?
No, absolutely. I would definitely encourage folks to at least reach out and have a conversation. And you mentioned on the club side, I think as a club director, you may not be able to do this for all of your players, but I do think that if you brought in your staff and you did it for your coaches, I think as a leader of a club, I think that would be really beneficial to know your coaches, because as a club, you are a team of coaches, and I think looking even at my staff of coaches, I've got all the different personalities. When we come together to make decisions, knowing what those personalities are could be very helpful, and as we strategize and look to move to the future.
Absolutely. Well, folks, this is it for episode 2. And, I bet there were people out there going, there's no way Paul and Phil can keep these episodes 10 to 15 minutes. But,
We're
so
doing
far,
it.
2 for 2. And, so with that, folks, if you want to check out what Warrior Way is doing out there in Waco, Paul and Marcy are doing some awesome things, not just in Waco, but throughout Central America as well. You can check that out at the show notes. Also, Dark Leadership. You'll see the link for that if you do want to book that strategy call. Strongly recommend it. No obligation, no cost, nothing. But we can have a chat. So with all that, folks, hope you're taking what you're learning from this show and you're using it to help you be a better coach, a better parent, a better spouse, a better player, a better leader, better in all that you do. And continually remind yourself that soccer does explain life and leadership. Thanks a lot. Have a great couple weeks.